Well, hello there. This is Ivan Harris Sr. coming to you with a very, very important video here today. This video um, is about a review for a gentleman named Dr. Bruce Lipton. As the subject heading says, it's a review of a very important video called How We're Programmed. How We're Programmed. In other words, why we are like we are, who we've become. Have you noticed in life that you maybe are struggling with affirmations and positive affirmations, maybe New Year's resolutions? You keep making them, you keep writing stuff down, and it seems like you're not achieving it for some reason. It's like climbing a mountain and you keep sliding back down like there's oil on the side of it, and you just don't seem to get any higher than one spot, and then you slide back down. Does that sound familiar? Well, listen, number one, it's not your fault. Don't feel bad. There's a reason it's happening. See, years ago, I did a video or review of Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. Changed my life back in 2012. Incredible, incredible, incredible. And it's still changing my life. But here's something that I realized, you all. There was a step that preceded that positive thought. There's something that goes before that. So you are sitting there beating yourself about why you're not getting ahead and why the affirmations aren't working and why you feel like you're stuck. There's a reason. Dr. Bruce Lipton, in his video, How We're Programmed, explained it for me, and the light bulb came on for me. I mean, actually, absolutely came on for me. And here's what it was. I realized that in the first 7 years, as he mentions, and several other people mention, not just him, by the way, but I'm talking about his video today because it really hit me like a ton of bricks. The first 7 years of our lives determine the rest of our lives. If you're wondering why you react to things the way that you do, why you get angry and why this happens and why that happens in our lives, there's a reason. The first 7 years of our lives, whoever was our guardian, our parents, whoever that might have been, the person of influence in our lives, we lived with them. Sometimes it wasn't even verbal. It's just what we saw with our eyes. As babies, even, we pick up everything, we absorb it, and guess where it goes? Straight into our subconscious mind. And this is the record that plays in our lives and is playing right now as we speak. So as a result of that record playing, majority of that for just about everybody, myself included, all of us, that record a lot of times is a negative record. And it plays over and over again. Now, also, what I'm speaking of here is this. It plays whatever we experienced. And this is the part I really want you to hear. It plays what we've experienced. In other words, you may have grown up in a home where you struggled. Money was hard to come by, and you had to borrow money, and parents borrowed money all the time, and you're barely trying to get by, and all of these kinds of situations. You follow me? It was hard to get food and so on. I'm just giving you an example of that. Well, when you're doing your affirmations and you're saying, I'm a great person, I'm positive in my thinking, and da 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 da. Well, the way that you're able to lock down on what you experienced in the first parts of your life, the affirmations or the positive things that you tried to say about yourself that you get the most pushback from, these are the areas, as Dr. Lipton says, these are the areas that are causing us the most problem. What? When we were first born and in the early stages of our lives, these are the things that we struggled with. So the things that we struggle with now are what we saw then. And so now we are actually having to reprogram our mind to think differently about who we are and why we are. But before we can do any of that, we've got to first of all do the work and look at who we are and why we are. And a lot of times that's scary, a lot of times that's painful, because a lot of times we don't like going back and looking at our past, do we? No, we don't. But I had a mentor share with me one time before. It said, in order to fix it, you've got to face it. And so, in order for us to do that, this video is going to be a great place for you to start. Trust me, it's worth it. It's going to make a difference in your life. It's going to change the way you look at yourself and the way you look at your situation. See, when you understand why you are who you are, then all of a sudden life opens up and you begin to understand. And that's the key word, why things are happening like they're happening. So when you reassess it, you're able to go forward. The example I use is you got to go backward to go forward. What do you mean? If you're driving in your car and you're trying to move out of that spot, at the grocery store, and you're trying to back out and then turn and leave, right? Well, you didn't go far enough back, right? So you try to go forward. If you keep going forward, you're going to hit the car. So in other words, you've got to go back even further, right? And then put it in drive and then you can go. You understand that, you'll understand this. In our lives, we got to go back and look at who we are and what we experienced in order for us to go forward. To understand where we are or where we're going, we've got to understand where we've been. And that's where this video comes in. I'm telling you, it is a tremendous video to start you on your journey because it's the first step. Before you get to positive thinking, you got to understand why you're thinking negatively in the first place. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully so. So in other words, what this video is going to do for you is, again, get you to look at, what did I experience? What were the things that I saw? And I guarantee you guys, I've done it. I've done this myself. I guarantee you, when you sit down and start asking those questions about why you think like you think and what's going on and what am I struggling with in life? What are the things I'm struggling with? Write it down on a piece of paper, in a pad, I would say. Write it down and see exactly what it is that you're struggling with. And when you start assessing that and looking at that, now you know what the problems are. Now that's where Earl Nightingale comes in. Now you can start reprogramming your mind by listening to positive things. And the things that you're struggling most with, those now become your affirmations. The opposite. If you heard this as a child growing up, maybe unfortunately, some children do, and I've heard it, and it's so, so sad. Where parents talk about you're worthless, you're not going to be anything, you're not going to amount to nothing, you're just worthless. I've heard people say this to children, and that's just horrible. Well, if you've heard that all of your life for 7 years, can you imagine how it's going to impact you? So in your affirmations now, you're going to have to learn now how to reprogram your mind to understand that was their warped idea of who you are. Because here's the reality. You are incredibly special. You are a powerful individual. Listen, I liken it to this, and I'll try to be quick here. I didn't want to be on here all day. God has given you a special piece of a puzzle, okay? Everybody in this world has a piece of the puzzle. Guess what? Your puzzle is different than anybody else's piece. And if your piece is missing, when we put the big puzzle together, everybody, guess what? Your piece is missing. And we can't put that piece in there unless yours is there. You see that picture? So, in other words, you are vital. It's so important that you understand who you are and why you're here. They said the two most important days of your life are when you're born and the day that you realize why you were born. Guess what? You are vital. You are important. There's so much that you have in you. Les Brown says you've got greatness in you, and you do. You are an incredible individual. Regardless to what you have experienced or whatever you've gone through, with God's mighty help, you can come through it. And you can reprogram your mind, think again, and change the process of where you are. And that's what this video will help you do. First, assess where you are. And in the life coaching that we do, there are 3 phases. where we deal with. One is this one in this video, assessing where you are, knowing who I am and why I am like I am. Secondly, is where we deal with the Earl Nightingale phase, positive thought, where you're learning to reprogram and think about who I can be, possibilities of who I can become. You can now believe that in phase two. And then the third phase is where I learned a lot from Jim Rohn, is crafting your life, your future, to be what you want it to be in the future, so it won't be a repeat of what you lived in the last years of your life, which is powerful within itself. But that's another video. But I'm going to strive to end here. I want to wrap things up. All I want to say here is this. This video is going to powerfully impact your life, getting you to understand who you are. Understand that there is a reason why you're thinking like you're thinking. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you need to understand who you are. And when you understand who you are, then now you can do the work to start reprogramming your subconscious mind. And the more that you continue to tell yourself the positive things, now that you understand why it's happening, you can then start rewriting the program of your mind. And I can rewrite the program of my mind. That's the power of this video. You need to take the time, look at the video, do the work, and you will not be the same. I know it turned a light bulb on for me. So I just wanted to take time out today to talk about this powerful video. Again, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to understand what you heard, what you experienced in the first years of your life, so that now you can begin to change that program of your subconscious mind and move forward in your life. You are so, so special. Please hear me. You are so special. You are so, so worth it. There's so much that you have in you. Don't let anybody fool you into believing that you are not great, that you are not worth loving. You are worth it all. God does not make junk. And He made you and He made me. So understand that. You are needed. You are imperative. It's imperative that you understand. Watch this video. Do the work so that you can begin to change your life with God's mighty help. Okay? So I want to end with that today to say, I love you, and I want what's best for you. There's so much here available. There's so much you have in you that needs to be shared with the world. Please don't keep that to yourself. If I can help in any way, please contact me. I want to help you see the beauty in you that I see, because there's something beautiful within you. There's something great. So until the time that we talk again, take care. God bless you. Have an amazing rest of your day. And remember, you are loved and you're worth it. Take care now. Bye-bye.